If I were 9 and I saw where I am today, do you guys think I would believe it? I'm gonna give you a second to think. Because I certainly think I don't. I wouldn't believe it at all. I mean, on this grand stage in front of so many new faces, like, oh my God, so many new faces, I just wouldn't believe it. Because at 9, I was a pretty stressed kid. I mean, not in the way I am now, not in the way you guys are now, but in social scenarios. You know that concept of making new friends and actually talking to them? Nope, that wasn't my thing. That wasn't in my vocabulary. And I mean, that was foreign concept to me. I pushed it aside, especially since I was used to and comfortable with my current friends. And I never ever wanted to move on, but I eventually had to. I moved to another country. I moved to Myanmar from Nepal. And I'd be joining another school and making new friends. And as I said before, making new friends wasn't my thing. Making new friends wasn't my thing. So, can you guess what I did? I put up a wall. A wall, or in that scenario, a shield. A shield so strong, so indestructible, so immovable that not even talking to me would make it fall, fold, or shatter. A shield so strong that it wouldn't break. But then, an incident occurred. And before that incident occurred, I used to think to myself, why did I put up this shield? Why would I do such a thing? Why? So I could hide with that fear. I could go back in the shadows. I could think to myself, I'm not up for this. I can't do it. To hide with that fear, that anxiety that made my legs numb, stand still in stasis. That fear that made me feel inferior. But then, an incident occurred. An incident so small, so intricate, yet so powerful. I met a kid. His name was N. And no, I'm not protecting his identity for legal reasons or whatever, right? I mean, his parents were just early adopters of minimalism, I guess. Very efficient people, if that is true. But anyways, in the school that I was so afraid to go to, stepped foot in. I was sitting there alone, looked to my left, to my right. I turned around, saw nobody. Then I picked up a ball and I started playing with myself. And then the same kid, N, comes up to me and asks me a question. Yo, do you want to play together? And I mean, I was hesitant at first, but well, I said yes. I was hesitant. I stuttered, but I said yes. Let's get this over with. Why not? And as we were playing, because it was a rainy, wet day, I slipped. And then he started laughing. I don't know if it was at me or with me, but then my luck turned. He fell too. And, well, I didn't know what to do. I laughed. I don't know if I was laughing at him or with him, but I did it anyways. I went with the flow. And I realized that we had just built a connection. And then though I didn't realize it at the time, he was bombarding me with questions. He was asking me one question left, to my right. What is that called in your language? What is this called in your language? Was the food as spicy as they say? Why did you move to Myanmar? And I don't know if he was asking me these questions because he was being polite or if it was because he was being curious. And I could tell later on when I mulled over what had transpired at home, he was being curious. And so was I. And that curiosity led to where I am today. And I realized there was a small crack in my shield. I mean, it wasn't big enough to shatter the shield, it was just a tiny crack. And one small interaction at a time, I realized that I can soon break the shield. This shield erected with fear. So one interaction at a time, I built another pillar. I shattered the wall and I built another pillar of confidence. And I built connections. I built networks. I realized that my mindset that I had, that other people like you were superior to me because you guys had the power to judge me and I didn't, which made me inferior, was gone. Completely vanished. Just like that. So, one interaction at a time, I built another pillar of confidence. And I remember one of the connections that I had a very serious ranking of cafeteria food. I mean, we all have to have priorities, right? Obviously. It wasn't and never will be an easy task to get rid of your fear or anxiety of losing old friends and making new ones. But we learned how to wade through these problems when you guys realized that you guys are on par with your peers. You guys are equal. That notion of mine was later tested. Years later, actually. It wasn't that long, just 2.5 years. But just for the talk, right? Years later, I would be moving back to Nepal and I would be joining Premier. I'd have to make new friends. Does that ring a bell, or is this the first time you're hearing this from me? Making new friends? I had to just that. And long story short, at Premier, if I let the older ghost of anxiety to rise, then I knew I'd be in trouble. And if you do too, you will also be in trouble. But we have built another habit today, a habit of seeing everybody as equal, of seeing everybody as humans, as your own peers. So, if you see me later, do feel free to say hello. Do feel free to have a conversation with me. Make a new friend, right? Or don't. I'm kind of professionally equipped to handle that type of situation as well. Low-key. And one last thing. Don't ever believe that you can't do a certain thing. Even though I'm just a 15-year-old, I know every single person in this auditorium, on this stage, to my left and my right, to my front, and everybody in this world has that spark in them, that spark of inspiration that makes them a better person, a better leader, and most importantly, a better friend. So what I want you guys to do today is raise your hands, aim for the stars, and shatter the skies, everybody. Thank you so much.